Good afternoon, friends. Welcome to Coffee Break. This is Dr. Michele Alignay. It's another week. It's the last day of August, and I am just so excited to talk about a very special topic, a very common topic, and but a very critical topic, and that is adult self-worth. So, I would like to invite you get your coffee, yung matapang-tapang, or get your tea, yung tea na tipong gigisingin tayo or get something that you think that can uplift you because this afternoon we're going to talk about adult self-worth. So, kung ano man ang pinagdadaanan natin, kung nasan man tayo, kung meron man ingay sa kapitbahay ko, the show must go on and even there's a lot of commotions outside, I believe that this is a very important topic that we should talk about. We should sit down together. So, magandang araw, magandang buhay, at I hope that you will just walk with me as we go through this real conversation regarding adult self-worth. So, I think there are some friends who are here already, and I would like to ask, how have you been with your own worth? Ayan. Yan ang una kong tanong, friends. How have you been? What's the topic that comes to your mind? Or what's the word that comes to your mind when you hear self-worth? Parang ano ba yan, Doc? Meron bang app na ganyan? So I would like you, there are a lot of friends here already. Please come and join me, sit down with me, and let's just have this real talk on self-worth. When we hear self-worth, what comes to your mind? Anong naiisip mo dito sa topic ng self-worth? Ano ang mga bagay that connected, that you were able to connect, or what comes to your mind when you hear self-worth? Yan ang pag-usapan natin. I'm having my hibiscus tea in kefir grains, and I love it. Okay, so while I'm waiting, respect. Okay, thank you, Maurice. Respect. What else? What can you think about when you hear self-worth? So bakit kayo nandito? Anong gusto nyong mapakinggan? Anong gusto nyong matutunan? What are you expecting with this topic of self-worth? Value. Yes, Jean. Value of oneself. So ngayon, mas magandang tingnan natin because I believe ibang-iba, there's a big difference on how we view ourselves when we were younger, like when we were teenagers or in our early 20s. And then now that maybe you're my age, I'm in my 40s, maybe you're in your 30s or 40s, it's very different. There's really a big difference. And the funny thing is that the things that happen to us, the things that's been going on, even this pandemic, it's actually affecting how we value and how we show that sense of self-worth. So self-worth, let me define for you how I define self-worth. Bakit ko yan? I have my personal definition of self-worth. It's in my book, The Beauty of 40, Unwrapping the Gift of Midlife. This book, by the way, it's divided into three parts. It's about self-worth, it's about self-love, and it's about self-care. So akala nyo, it's just about midlife? No, it's midlife on those aspects. So let's revisit. Self-worth, it's actually the sense of being loved and accepted. So you were saying, Belle, it's how you value, respect, and love yourself. Yes, self-love is actually self-worth is about our sense of being loved, valued, and accepted. Nakikita nyo ba? Hindi lang itong feeling good about ourselves. It's just not about being loved and accepted, but it's also acknowledging our capabilities. Accepting our capabilities, sarili nating kakayahan. Na ang nakapasok naman dyan yung self-esteem. And this is the funny thing. Self-worth encompass our sense of being loved and accepted, our abilities and capabilities, meaning what can we do, what can we contribute, and how can we make a contribution to the world. Paano natin na ibabahagi kung sino tayo, how are we serving other people, how are we serving the world. Ibang-iba yung whenever I give talks to parents on self-worth as kids, ibang-iba to on how we are as adults. Imagine for that past month, so many things happened to us. Can you just share with me ano yung big change na nangyari ngayon this pandemic for you personally? I know that meron tayong kanya-kanyang pinagdaanan. Meron kanya-kanya tayong hugot or may kanya-kanya tayong um, may kanya-kanyang baksak sa atin ng pandemya. And that alone is our factors. Those things na nangyari sa atin, even if we don't acknowledge it, but that's why I'm doing this for you to sit down and see how is your worth now. Hi Rose, you're saying that value you place in yourself, and that is true. Kaya konektado rin dyan yung boundaries. Yes, and then looking at that, so it's just not about when we were younger. It's when we were in our teenagers. Let me just go through with you developmentally. In our teenage life, it's about that sense of being stage of forming and building. It's that stage of forming and building. Ibig sabihin, we're forming our identity and we're building our worth. Mula pagkabata, binubuo natin yung self-worth, pero hindi tayo yung in charge. It's our parents, it's the significant people who are actually affecting how we build our self-worth. But as adults, eto ha, hindi ko sinasabing matanda, as we mature, as we grow, as we age beautifully, adulthood, it's about, if teenage years, it's about forming, adulthood, it's actually about transforming. So you see the difference? While we are connected very much on our significant others, our parents, the important people around us to bring us, to bring us factors, to bring us the experiences that will help boost our self-worth. When we're older, it's actually about transforming. So kung ano man yung hindi natin maganda na natutunan or yung hindi magandang pagkakabuo sa atin, we are actually responsible to be able to transform to that real authentic self-worth. Am I making sense, friends? If can you press the heart or the like button if you think that I am making sense to you? If the teenage years it's about forming, this adulthood it's about rebuilding. Nung dati parang binubuo mo pa lang unti-unti forming. Pwede din naman reforming or rebuilding. Because why did that happen? Because there's just so many crisis events that happen to us. There are so many losses. There are difficulties. May nawalan ng trabaho, may nawalan ng pag-ibig, may nawalan ng asawa, may nawalan ng anak, may nawalan ng magulang, may nawalan ng resources, may nawalan ng kakayahan. And also, there's too many demands in us, roles in our lives, who you are today, sino ba tayo? Do I fulfill my role as a wife? Do I fulfill my role as a daughter? Do I fulfill my role as an employee? There's so many roles that we need to fulfill. And the thing is, friends, are you still with me? Life can actually take the best of us. Yun yung nakita ko, the factor that in this journey to adulthood, if we are not careful, ang nangyayari sa atin, nadadala tayo ng buhay. Minsan we don't necessarily sit down and reflect what's really happening. We overlook how we are valuing ourselves. We overlook our sense of self-worth. Oh, hi, Jing. Thank you for being here, Jing. I hope you enjoyed my session with Jing last week. So, in this journey to adulthood, our self-worth needs to transform and to be to be rebuilt. Hindi eto, I just have to drop this bombshell. As early as now, hindi na it's no longer about us being teenagers. If we are pinned down on our value and our sense of self-worth, kung sino tayo nung teenage tayo, pero we are already in our late 20s, in our 30s, in our 40s, or even 50s. Kung yun pa rin yung definition natin sa sarili natin, ay walang nag-evolve dyan. Parang, ay, ganun pa rin siya. Yung pa rin yung issue niya. Hindi ba? Have you encountered this? That there are just some people, pag yung issue niya parang matampuhin pa rin. Ganyan na siya dati ah. O kaya parang, teka lang, parang ang babaw. Parang kailangan i-update mo sila lagi sa nangyayari at this time and age. Parang meron na ba kayong na-encounter na gano'n, na yung issue parang high school yung issue? Tas hindi na nakakaawa, hindi na nakaka-guilty makipag-deal with sa gano'ng tao. Sorry, I need to say this, nakakainis kasi that's too juvenile. Parang wait, we're supposed to be evolving already, right? And how come yun pa rin yung issue niya? 'Di ba? Ito yung parang wait, so let us actually yeah, tama Jing, nakakaumay, 'di ba? So iyon yung tatanungin mo. So where are we in this aspect? Are you the one na yung issue mo nung teenager ka pa na hindi ka pa rin nakakapag-transform? Can you say that with me? Transform. Transform. It's just not forming already. It's transforming. That's where we are. As adults, we're supposed to be transforming ourselves. So, um, all these things that's happening, all the crisis situation, some people actually hides behind their problems. Some people hide behind their wants. Yung bang feeling nila na parang, ito ko may problema ako mababa yung self-esteem ko ever since talagang I'm the one being helped. So that's learned helplessness already. And then they're hiding behind that. Some people hide behind their labels, titles. Some people hide behind their achievements. And actually, some people hide behind their pa-cute or arrogant state, and some people hide behind their insecurity. But as adults, 'di ba, if you dealt with people like this, totoo yung sabi mo, Jing, nakakaumay, nakakapagod. You know, and as adults, as adults, we have to deal with all these sounds, all these inconsistencies. Can you hear me well, even though there's a sound that is not really in our household? I'm sorry, this is way beyond my control. But I would like you to think about these three important aspects, that three big questions that is actually asked for teenagers. When we were in our teenage life, when we were in our adolescent stage, meaning nung teenager tayo, may tatlong tanong na dapat mong sagutin. And dapat at our age now as adults, we can be able to answer it better. Mas maganda na yung sagot natin, hindi lang yung para lang may masabi, mema, para lang may masabi. So the first question, who am I? Ang hirap nito, friends. Kasi if we are anchoring our worth in the wrong places, it's so hard to answer. So the first question that I would like you to really think about, so the first question about our worth, who am I? Sino ba ako? 'Di ba? Is it hard to answer? Mahirap bang sagutin 'to? Alam niyo minsan ang hirap niyan. Ang hirap sagutin ng who am I. Kasi pero wait, if our worth is just anchored on things and what we're doing, nako ang hirap sagutin 'yan. Lalo na ngayong nag-pandemic that we've lost a lot. We've encountered so much. It's very good for us to ask that again. So the second question, mamaya babalikan natin to. And on Thursday again. Paulit-ulit natin to eh. The second question is that, where is my place in this world? So people are finding it, as I read, teenagers are actually finding their tribe. Who do I am gonna be with? Who will I fit in? And I believe that us adults, we should have that. We should have those people whom we fit in. We're not going to please everybody. Do you know what I mean? Because before we keep going around and trying to check who are the friends that I can feel I belong. Sorry. Who do you feel that, where do you feel you belong, and who do you belong with? Diba, you're finding your tribe, you're finding your group of friends, you're finding your family. But come to think of it, where is your place in this world? Where is my work? Where will I go? Hinahanap natin yan. And yeah, this is really good. Sa daming ingay sa mundo, kaninong boses ang papakinggan mo? This is so correct. This is so correct. Where is your place in this world? And the third one that we should be able to answer as adults, you know what? What have you done for your God? Ito, hindi to masasagot ng teenage life. Pero as adults, we're supposed to be, di ba? There's a quote that I love when I was about grade 6. I remember that. Kung natatandaan nyo at ka-generation nyo ako, di ba meron tayong mga slum book or autograph? Tapos tatanungin dyan, motto in life. This is one of my favorite answer. Who you are now is God's gift to you. Who will you become is your gift to God. Boom! Sabi ko, grade 6 pa lang ako, kapit-kapit ko na siya. And then, this is the time now. This is the time now, friends. What have you done for your God? May nagamit ba tayo sa talents natin? May nagawa ba tayo sa buhay natin that we can offer to the world and offer our God? So, from the time that who am I now, where is your place in this world? Either they're friends, either they're a community, either where you feel that you have a purpose, and then what have you done for your God? These three things, we're supposed to be answering it. And it's good to revisit them in our adult life. Ano dyan ang pinakamahirap na tanong, friends? Ano dyan ang pinakamahirap sa inyo? Si number one, si number two, or si number three? I would like to confront you and ask you, kaya nyo bang sagutin yung tatlong yan? Yes or no? At alin dyan yung mahirap to, Doc? Ang hirap sagutin. Why is it so hard to answer? Because sometimes we did not really take time to look at how life is transforming us. We would rather look at social media. We would rather indulge in Netflix binge. We would rather indulge in drama sa radyo, drama sa buhay, at drama sa politika. We would rather indulge in what is happening outside, but we don't really take time to look at what's happening inside. But I would like to share with you, how do you measure, di ba? If the song Seasons of Love, there is such thing as how do you measure a love? How do you measure a year in the life? Ito, how do you measure your worth? Saan naka-anchor ang worth mo? Yan ang tanong ko. Parang, Dok, paano nga ba sasagutin yan? Okay. I would like to tell you instead, what are the things that we're not supposed to be anchoring our worth on? Ito yung mga bagay na when we were teenagers, our worth seems to be connected to this. And it's okay. But, as adults, as maybe midlifers, as mature persons, our self-worth may be affected by these five things that I'll discuss, but they are not the sole anchor. They are not really what our self-worth is about. Are you ready? Are you ready to how do you measure our worth? So one, we are not supposed to measure our worth by our appearance. Kung ano yung itsura natin. We're not supposed to be measured by our bodies, by how our body changed. So, di ba, I think when we were younger, we develop our identity and we develop our self-worth because of how we look. That's why we have a tendency to be very self-conscious. And we would like also to plan well kung anong isusuot mo. We're so excited. I don't know if you've experienced that. You're so excited whenever there will be parties or there will be occasions that we're supposed to wear civilian clothes during high school kasi it's your chance to wear something that you really like. It's your chance to wear maybe your new sneakers, or it's your chance to show your real identity if you're clad in uniform. So there, and appearance, I know that I was so conscious those days that I have a lot of pimples, when I have braces, sabay pa sila, my God, and then parang you feel that everybody's looking at how you look, everybody is nitpicking on what you're wearing and how you speak. But then at this age, if we feel that pandemic effect, it's what our self-worth is about, the changes in our body is about, it's no longer healthy. We cannot be pinned down on just simply our appearance as our sense of self, as the what builds our self-worth. Hindi siya. Can you tell me? Because we're aging. Sorry to say that. For those of you na nagsasabi na, no, I want to defy aging. Yes, we can. But isn't it's nice to take care of ourselves? Isn't it that it's so good to exercise, to eat healthy food so we can age gracefully? That's still a responsibility. But it doesn't mean that It doesn't mean that we're going to be fixated on fitness, but we're going to be more fixated by our health. We're not fixated by appearance alone, but we're fixated by actually taking care of our whole being. Diba, Lula? Jing has this blog, just share with you. Jing has this blog called Lula Land. And her advocacy is actually graceful aging. Correct, Jing? So you go over her blog. It's called Lula Land. Lula Land is available. You check Facebook and you check her website because it's beautiful. That's how we compliment. Okay naman tumanda. And then because it's actually the sign of wisdom. So one, we're not supposed to be fixated on our appearance. We're supposed to take care of our health and our well being, but not solely about how we look. Yes, appearance can be very critical and very important. But it's the add-on. It's actually the appearance. Kumbaga, the outside, the inside, it's as good as the outside. So dapat yan magkasama. Whereas as teenagers, we're mostly focused on the outside. Here at this adulthood stage, we're actually focused on the appearance, but more about the inside. So does that make sense? The second one, we're not supposed to be focused. Our worth is not dependent on our possessions. Our net worth, our self worth is not dependent on self, uh, our net our self worth is not supposed to be dependent on our net worth. What do I mean by that? If we are forever feeling na wala pa akong naiipon, wala pa ako, hindi ko pa 'to nararating, hindi ko pa 'to, wala pa akong ganitong klaseng bag, ilang taon na ako. I remember before, uh, I was guesting on TV quite often. And I just would like to tell you that guesting on TV, especially for some shows, it's not a paid work. There's just a very minimum allowance just to pay for your hour, but it's not to pay for your expertise actually. But it's a very good acknowledgement of our expertise, my expertise. And then somebody told me that, nako, Itchel, lumalabas ka na sa TV. Ideally, dapat yung bag mo, ito na yung brand. Sabi ko, funny, hindi naman nakikita yung bag ko. Pangalawa, hindi naman ako, that's not the paid work that I'm doing. It's an extension of my social service. That's how I feel about that. So I feel that there would be people, if we were younger and we're so fixated on our what we have accomplished and what possessions do we have. Do we have a house? Do we have a car? Do we have this so and so earnings? Ito na ba yung narating natin? And then it may be good to reflect at this time. Yan pa ba yung mahalaga? For example, mahalaga pa ba talaga yung brand ng bag? Eh, nandun lang sila sa cabinet ngayon eh, di ba? It makes us revisit also our values for things. Nandun lang sila sa cabinet ngayon. Ako, I grab the bag na pinakamadaling i-disinfect and i-sanitize. So, that's a thing that we can look into now. So here, we have to check if we feel that we're left behind by our contemporaries simply because our net worth is not too big, and then we can actually ask ourselves, is this where my worth is in my net worth? So it's not supposed to be where we are. The third one, so the first one is appearance, the second is net worth, the third, your connections, who you know. In the Pilipinas, ang hilig natin sa connection, sorry to say, yung parang may kakilala ka ba sa ganyan? May kilala ka sa ganyan? Uy, baka naman pwede mo akong ilapit. Sabi ko, we like that padrino system. The funny thing is that I remember, who do you know? Just a perfect example. Meron mga tao na meron yung kanilang driver's license. Of course, the driver's license, it's your complete identity of who you are. May nakasamang calling card ng kung sinong mataas na tao in a certain position, especially if you belong to the police group or to people in positions. So sabi ko, bakit ganon? Bakit kailangan ilagay yung calling card ng ibang tao, yung pangalan nila, dun sa ID mo? Simply because para daw pag meron ng huli sa kanila, they know that this person is connected to someone. Sabi ko, but that's not fair. Because each of us, we are really an identity and we take responsibility for ourselves. Kaya hindi tayo natututo, I feel, because we would like other people to bail us out of our troubles, to have shortcuts, 'di ba? Pero on all honesty, who do you know? Who do you know, do they really matter? They matter at some point, but actually, at the bottom of things, hindi tayo natututo to really be responsible, to take accountability for our actions. Yes, sometimes we really need to have that certain degree of connections, but we don't define who we are because of that connection. For example, there are people na lahat ng, you check your news feed, they would take pictures sa lahat ng taong in positions at magpapapicture sila doon. Tapos they would of course post it in social media. Eh, ang funny lang, parang nagpa-picture ka dun sa taong nakaposisyon, gusto mo ba talaga yan? Do you really would like to be identified with that crooked person? Ako minsan ganyan yung reflection ko. Sabi ko, pag itong taong to nakita ko at hindi ko siya gusto, hindi ako makikipagsiksikan, makipagpa-picture sa kanya. Because I don't, it's not a matter of who you know, and why would I define myself just because of that other person, because I'm connected to that other person? And I hope this making you reflect, because at the end of the day, that other person, kung sino man siya, hindi naman sila answerable kung anong nagawa natin sa buhay. Tayo pa rin yung may responsibility sa buhay natin. So that's the third. So no matter how much connected are we, it's good to have connections. It's good that there's who we know, but actually we don't need to flaunt about it, because it's actually a byproduct of good work that we know these people. But honestly, hindi naman yun yung identity natin. Ako personally, sabi ng husband ko minsan, in your phone pa lang, there are a lot of people that whom you are connected and they have certain influence over things. Sabi ko, yeah, but I don't really like to create connections. Kasi sabi ko, equal naman tayong lahat, paghihirapan natin lahat, di ba? So that's how it goes. And my worth is not connected on anyone, because I work for my worth. We work for our worth. Can you say that with me? We work for our worth. It's not other people. They cannot save us. I'm sorry. And the fourth one, what do you do? Ito yung mahirap. How do you define yourself? Minsan, di ba sa pila, yung may sisingit kasi sorry. Kasi sorry. Kasi senior sila. O kaya lawyer sila. O kaya doktor sila. Because of certain professions that they do, sisingit sila. But come to think of it, are we really all about what we do? This is a good reflection, because a lot of people are affected by how they are this pandemic. They're affected about not having that purpose of what they do, because their work is affected by the pandemic situation. So nawalan sila ng opportunity to do what they have been doing. Kasi nag-iba yung trabaho, hindi nila nagagawa yung main purpose nila. And for some, it affected them wholly. And is it bad? Yes, we are what we do. But the thing is, we are not solely what we do. If you see me speaking to you, if you see my work, I am my work. That's me. I am my title, but that's not who am I totally. Because I realize what we do, it can actually be removed from us. Pwedeng ngayon ito yung purpose natin, um, pwedeng bukas iba. But I feel that other people are fixated about what they do and how they do it. Just to share with you one insight that I believe that the Lord keeps repeating to me, is that your purpose remains. And what is my purpose? To help the Filipino families enrich their family life and relationships. That's my main mission in life. But while before, I go to provinces, I go to different places to give talks, and I teach. Now I do it in a different platform. 'Di ba? The mission remains, what I do remains, but it becomes different. So we have to check. Also, baka naman in a certain season of our life, okay lang to. Pero in a certain season, we transform also our work. So what do you do? Our worth and our work are integrated, but our work is not only the main deal of our worth. I hope that you catch that. So kung meron kayong parang nawawalan ng hope and you feel that you're no longer used by God for your purpose, you have to check again. But right here, right now, what is my purpose? Maybe the purpose is related, but in smaller terms, not in the terms that you know how. So, does that make sense? Our work and our work are connected, but our work is not only our sense of self-worth. Hindi lang yon, friends. Okay. And then the last. Are you still with me? The last. What have you achieved? Nako, alam natin yan. Sometimes, when I am asked, Doc, can we have your profile for your for introducing you for the session? I would give my profile. Siyempre, mayabang yung profile na yon. Nandun yung mga achievements ko. But because it has to have that certain degree of achievements for people to realize and to contextualize the expertise that I bring in. You know what I mean? It's needed, but it's not who I am lang. My greatest achievement would be able to raise kids actually. I have achievements. Okay, yung nakikita nyo kahit bakit ako doktor, hindi ako yung may reseta. Okay, I am a PhD doctor. What do you achieve? I have achieved some areas. I have achieved a few awards in my life. I have achieved some things, but those achievements, pwede naman pa rin sa akin yon. Ang tanong nga dito so pag tinanggal natin yung appearance, pag tinanggal natin yung net worth, pag tinanggal natin yung connection natin, pag tinanggal natin yung who, what do we do? Itong trabaho natin. And what have you achieved? Do we know who we are? If we, if you can answer that we can remove everything, will there be parts of us that we'll be feeling worthy about? Do we have talents? Do we have abilities? Do we still love ourselves nevertheless? Just the same. Even if there's no more, if our appearance change, even if our net worth is different, even if the people we know, we're no longer connected to them, even if we're not doing what we have been doing the past years that's making us fulfilled, and if we have less achievements or people would not acknowledge our contribution or achievements, can you still answer the big three questions that I ask? Who am I? Where is my place in this world? And the last thing, what have you done for your God? I think that's a very good reflection point. So babalik tayo sa Thursday with some parts. But I would like to tell you that if you see people na ito yung the five things that I said, if the if their sense of self-worth is actually dependent on this, it might be red flags in relationship. So for example, if you see people, the relationship red flags that is connected very much to self-worth. Um, for example, what do you do? So I am, I am, I am with someone. Someone is completing me. I am a lover. I am a spouse. Okay, I am a mother. So if our work is just connected to that, and what if that role, it's it's already becoming who we are. 'Di ba minsan may mga tao na yung sense of self-worth nila nakapako dun sa relasyon. Is that healthy? Not in the long run. I'll be honest with you. Kaya yung tinatawag na you complete me syndrome, I'm complete I'm not complete without my family. My family completes me. My partner completes me. It's so good to hear, but I'm going to tell you, for me, in my book, that's not healthy. That is not appropriate because that is actually a sign that that person might not be fulfilled by himself or herself because that sense of self-worth is dependent on the other person. Kaya nagkakaroon ng codependent relationship. Kasi hindi ka magiging masaya, hindi ka magiging buo or kumpleto dahil wala. And that's a red flag already. So, pag sinabi sa atin, you are my reason to live, you're the source of my happiness, you make me happy. Oh my God. Paano kung tanggalin ako sa equation? How will this person be? And it's a good reflection for many of us. We can also reflect that if if for us, for example, kung sa sarili natin, sa tingin natin na parang, am I becoming too dependent on this person? Am I depending on this person for my happiness? Am I always making this person complete me or fulfill my needs? Am I always asking for attention and affection with my kids and I feel bad whenever that hindi nila ako pinapansin or they have a life of their own? You have to check. We have to check. Or hindi na ako napapansin sa office, hindi na ako nakaka-contribute, parang I'm older, I'm no longer relevant. Friends, we have to revisit our self-worth. Because at the end of the day, I have this definition. I started with my definition of self-worth. I will end with my definition of self-worth. Self-worth for me in my book, The Beauty of 40, it's the quiet assurance that God made us uniquely and beautifully to be used for His purpose. Kaya yung big question, number 3, what have we done for our God? That's it. It's that quiet assurance that God made us and that we will contribute. And that alone for me will feel our worth already. Ginawa ka ni Lord, tapos. Kaya kung ang feeling natin, meron pa tayong mga hindi na-achieve sa buhay, or parang, kulang pa eh. Baka we are anchoring our worth on other things. So let's talk about self-worth some more on Thursday as we continue. And how can we improve more our self-worth as we age, as we go through midlife, as we go through adulthood, because I believe it's very critical to always revisit this. Do you have question, friends? Do you have anything that you would like to ask me about self-worth? Okay, adult self-worth, please put that in the comment section. You can email it to me using the tab email or send message in the Facebook page. And friends, we will running the last leg of registration for my workshop, the beauty out, sorry, Martha's Paws Body and Being Workshop, September 18. We're down to our last few slots. So please, if you are interested to know more about yourself, connected sa topic natin ngayon at connected kung sino ka, ladies, I am inviting you. This session is for you. We're running the last, we're open until this week for the registration. So the registration details is here. So you can check this out at my Facebook page also. And then somebody would email you if you register. So we're gonna close the registration soon because this will be on September 18. And do I still have announcement? I don't have any announcement for now, but I would like you to join me next Thursday. And my last leg, if you feel that this session has blessed you, I hope that you can send stars, and that's your way of supporting me at Coffee Break. So that's about Coffee Break for now. I hope that this has helped you. This has reflected our sense of self-worth as adults. Let's continue the discussion on Thursday. This is Dr. Michelle Alignay. I am so happy that you joined me here this afternoon with Coffee Break with Dr. Michelle. Magandang araw.